Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. We are still with Amanda.
Yeah.
Who has helped 1,000 women.
Okay.
What do you think about that? I mean,
I think that's interesting. You want to ask a question?
yeah, I do.
What's the context? What exactly 1,000 women?
Yeah, so I mean, she's helped 1,000. You've helped 1,000 women.
Yeah,
right?
I've been in this business a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. What was one of the, or maybe if you want to share a few, I leave it to you.
Yeah.
One of the most transformational one that you've witnessed.
Oh, one of my favorite was one of my clients who definitely was during the Singapore portion of my career. And she was a mom of 3. But her youngest at that time was 14. So it was, the postpartum period had long passed.
Okay.
Right. But she still had diastasis recti. So she still had the separated abdominals, which over time had kind of compounded into like a really, non-functional midsection.
Okay.
She was overweight. She'd been exercising like crazy to try and shed the weight, hadn't worked. And she was just like, I'm just like a fat middle-aged lady now. Like that's,
Okay.
that's my identity now. My kids are, teenagers, like it's fine. And I was like, is it fine? Because like I had seen in this lady during the workouts that we had done together, I had seen the fire. I was like, this is not the attitude and spirit of a woman who just gives up in midlife. I was like, this lady works. And it's like, you can tell, one of my quotes is like, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you see people that are half-assers in the gym, they're half-assers in their lives. They do everything halfway. This woman was like fire, so I was like, this woman should not have to live in this body if that's not what she wants. So I was like, hey, if you want to work with me in a more intense capacity, we can get better results.
Okay.
So she signed on with me for my one-on-one program, which like for anyone listening that's in that program with me, it's super intense. I'm in your world. There's not one day you get off. So you work with me for X number of weeks. In this case, it was 20. So 20 weeks, you hear from me every day. I see your food log every day. Like you don't escape, right? And it's very, very full on. But through that, I was able to kind of see what had happened that made her the way she was.
Okay.
And I think one of the big things is that she had accepted this identity that I'm just a mom now. I gave up my life for my kids. She gave up her career when she got pregnant with her first baby, and she
Okay.
never went back to work. And then after, having the diastasis recti issues and gaining the weight with the babies, she was just like, well, this is my life now. And she had written this story for herself.
Okay.
That was like, I have given all that was my own to my children. And it's a noble and beautiful thing. And it's like, that was how she was able to rationalize the story in her own brain, is that I gave this gift
Yeah.
and therefore I don't need it anymore. And through our work together, I was like, you do deserve to have things for yourself. Number one, time for yourself, hobbies for yourself. But most importantly, you deserve to have a body that is functional, where you don't pee your pants when you squat, where you don't have your abs split wide open and, falling down in between you simply because you had babies. Like you deserve better than this.
Yeah.
And I think that part of her journey was being able to admit to herself that she deserved more than what she was giving herself.
Okay.
So once we kind of got through that, it's like baby steps. She was able to start eating better because she wasn't just eating what her teenagers were eating. God bless them. But like, ain't nobody needs to eat that for 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
She was making better choices for herself. And like, she was then doing exercise that wasn't just killing her in terms of making her exhausted every day. She was lifting more weights, more slowly, building more muscle tissue. And, helpfully, and I think this is, an important point that I think people in the industry tend to kind of poo-poo. She was looking better, right? She was losing weight, looking good. People were complimenting her, saying, wow, you look 10 years younger. You look so fit. Wow, look at your tiny little waist. And I'm not saying that that's the only motivation to exercise, but I am realistic enough to know that that is a lot of the reason that people exercise. And when you get that extrinsic validation that reinforces the intrinsic that you want to change, then it's really powerful. And so over the time that we worked together, over those 20 weeks, which is 5 months, she was able to lose over 40 pounds, which is over 18 kilograms.
Okay.
And not just lose it though. I mean, lose it in a way where she looked fit, where every day people were like, your arms, your waist, like you're this. And I mean, she just became a woman again. And not just a midlife fat lady. She updated her haircut. She updated her wardrobe.
Okay.
Things changed around her
Yeah.
because she changed herself. And that's one of my favorite stories because it's not just about she lost some weight and that, the scale number went down and that was awesome. It was like, nah, this woman realized she was a woman again.
Mm.
And it was a gift that she gave to herself. And I would argue to her kids as well, because they got to see that mama's a person. She's not just someone that is there to provide you food and, pat you on the back. She's a person with her own needs, desires, and wants.
Okay, so would you say that one of the things that you help overcome is actually the mental block that she was having?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
I think the mental block is often what holds people back from losing weight. The instrumental stuff can always be, you can always turn the dials on nutrition, steps count, sleep, whatever. But like until you unblock the thing that's holding you back from the belief that you deserve the weight loss, that will always be the biggest.
Wow. Okay, and this, I think you mentioned that this client of yours is the one in Singapore.
Yeah.
So that means you were doing this even when you were in the States.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my first fitness business was in 2006. That was when I first opened it was a partnership with my friend Marilyn, if you're listening. It was called Benefit.
Okay.
And so at that time we were doing, we were partners in fitness and offering, what was very hot at that time, right?
Yeah.
Boot camps and
Oh, yes.
outdoor sessions,
Yes,
that
The
type of
body
thing.
transformation
Body fat-
challenge.
yeah, exactly that. 8-week challenge. Here's your little
yeah.
diet plan and
Yes.
stuff. So that was our 2006 business that then evolved as I got more and more certified in the areas, right? So I became, I got certified in sports nutrition in 2007. I got certified in perinatal nutrition in 2009. So,
Okay.
I started to refine that approach a bit more. But yeah, it started in the US and then came to Singapore.
Okay. What is it about Singapore that draws you here?
Oh my gosh, everything.
Really?
Everything.
Really?
Like
I am
the food
Singapore's-
here too?
Like,
Oh
okay.
my gosh, yes. Are you kidding? So you want to talk about weight loss? Let's talk about weight gain. When I moved here, so I moved here in May of 2015, so 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yay. I moved here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, a decade.
Yeah.
Best day of my life. Really, really. But I moved here in May of 2015. By September of 2015, I had gained 15 pounds. And guys, like I am an active,
Yeah.
sporty individual. So like, weight gain is not something that usually happens to me, but I was like real deep in the local food and I love it. And I by the way, I don't want that to be a condemnation of the local food. It was that I was eating in excess of what I needed to eat because it's so delicious. Everything is my favorite. People are always like, what's your favorite Singaporean food? Everything.
I was just about to ask you that same question.
Dude, I mean, again, I could list, but I mean, like, like prata, laksa, char kway teow, like, nasi lemak, like you name it, just all, everything. Chicken rice.
I mean, are you feeling hungry?
No, not
Oh,
really.
yeah. It's time for dinner, bro.
I can keep going.
Yeah, but have you been to like those food expos in Singapore?
Heck yes. Heaven. I've been to food expos and I've been to like Ramadan night markets. Like those, dude, that Pasar Malam is like.
So do you see those like highly sweet like kunafa
Look at
with the
face,
syrup?
and just, oh man, again, it is not hard to overeat. It is not hard to overeat here, but it is also, it's possible to eat healthy here as well, even in the hot.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, like, why Singapore? Like people
so
keep on
many-
saying that America is a land of opportunity, right?
It is. You're absolutely correct. But if you think about the opportunity in my field, fitness, I was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
You want to talk about an oversaturated market in terms of health and fitness?
Yeah.
How about the most
Okay.
competitive market there is?
Yes.
Right. So it's really hard to distinguish yourself. And also something that, and this is something that we see now, back in those days in 2006, right? We weren't even talking about social media as like a major, Facebook existed, but it wasn't a major driving influence, right? Think about now, it's like people already have a hard time telling the difference between legit and not legit when it comes to influencers, advice, stuff like that. Oh my gosh, in LA, every second person is a trainer. Every third guy is a nutritionist or like a hypnotist or whatever. Everybody's something in the woo-woo world of wellness in LA. So not only is it hard to, carve into that and get your market share, but it's also hard to establish authority in that market where it's almost like celebrity supersedes authority or, if you've got a big following, that's good enough. That's what I love about Singapore is I do feel like there is more attention to there's more policing, if you will, on
Okay.
healthcare here. So
Yeah.
like, the SMC in terms of Singapore Medical Council, like for what, for example,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be a doctor here
Mm.
to give someone Botox.
Yep.
In
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
US, nah,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
no,
I
you could
I
just
never knew
get
it.
the
But of
cert.
course in Singapore there's those black market one.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in Singapore and in neighboring, like you can get
Yeah.
cheap
Yeah.
and
Yes.
unauthorized Botox if you
Yes.
want it, right? But yeah, so there's basically a higher standard of
Yeah,
healthcare
that's
here
right.
that I do think is protective
Mhm.
largely.
Yeah.
We have a coaching registry here now. So it's like that if you're getting advice from a coach and they're registered in the registry, they at least have a nationally recognized certification. Like
Yes.
there's at least some level of vetting
Mm.
of the healthcare professionals here.
Mhm.
And that is one reason I love establishing this career here. And
Okay.
also, it's not oversaturated.
Yeah.
My husband
Yeah.
and I run Lift Clinic. We're the first
Yep.
metabolic health center in Singapore.
Yeah.
There is not another one yet.
Uh-huh.
There's longevity centers and there's obviously GPs and there's
Yeah.
obviously physios, but there's no one like us, right,
Uh-huh.
that has the exercise testing lab and the gym and the clinic all in one spot. So it's like
Mm.
there's opportunities here because things are still new.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And again, then you get the added benefit of being able to know that you're operating with a safe professional.
So that's an issue, right? Because it is considered as market creation, right? You are creating this new market,
Yeah,
but don't you need to spend a lot to actually advocate about this as compared to if you enter a market that has already matured in the industry?
definitely. And you hit the nail on the head. The good thing about
Mhm.
opening a fitness business in LA is
Yeah.
like it's immediately understood.
Yeah.
And there's at least going to be, like we were never, it was never like we were at zero business.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah,
we always
yeah,
had business because
yeah.
people always wanted fitness. And
Yes.
here there is a level of like convincing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to explain to you
Yeah.
why you should test your VO2 max
Yes.
and why that's something that's worth $280.
Uh-huh.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
definitely you're right. Market creation comes with its own financial challenges.
Yeah.
And I do think, like it's not something I could have started my career with.
Mm.
It's something that I had to have the capital to start this thing
Yes, of
Mhm.
course.
with. Yeah.
Okay. So when you move here, you already have a specific capital to actually launch this clinic.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Not
okay.
yet.
So no, when I moved here, I was still very much in the like outdoor fitness,
Okay.
teaching
Okay.
classes,
Okay.
that's group
Ah.
fitness, that type of thing. And then it wasn't until my second business here
Mhm.
that I was able to get into the personalized
Okay.
fitness market, which really is where the money was,
Yes.
because you can obviously charge a
Okay.
much higher rate for a
Yep.
super hyper personalized
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, do you think that I mean, just now you mentioned about active as gene, all right? Do you think this kind of help can actually affect the market that you are trying to do? Because what you're doing highly personalized, it comes with a cost, right?
For sure.
But active SG is like government giving you money for you to be active.
Yes.
So
Yes.
does it affect your business in any way?
It would not affect my business. I
Okay.
think that our customers are completely different, right?
Mm.
Because Active
Okay.
to SG is literally everyone on the island,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and our customers are self-selected health, either health literate or health interested individuals, right?
Okay.
In some cases, individuals that are very metabolically sick,
Mm.
but also very private. So, for
Ah,
example, they want to lose weight, but they don't want to go into the public gym. They would rather do it in a highly privatized
yeah.
environment, right? And they have the resources to do that.
Okay.
But I think Active SG is an amazing place
Uh-huh.
where the majority of metabolic, rehabilitation can be done
Yeah.
because all you need is to be able to lift weights
Yeah.
a couple times a week,
Yeah.
do some cardio a
Yeah.
couple times a week,
Yeah.
and get some information about healthy eating. Which again,
Uh-huh.
that's not all Active SG's job, but the government is
Yes.
continually investing resources in doing that.
Uh-huh.
So it's like there is the public health level. I still think Singapore is doing an amazing job. I don't
Mm.
know how you could do it better, other than, like I said, giving a little bit more attention to the muscle mass issue,
Yeah.
but small thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, with regards to what you mentioned about NutriGrade, right?
Mhm.
I think that's another good thing. But back then, it wasn't NutriGrade. There was something else that it was called. What was it? Do you remember?
Which one?
Like now they call NutriGrade A, B, C, but there was something else back then. I can't remember.
I
It replaced something.
Yeah, how far back?
Um,
Like I said, I know the
I
healthier
can't.
choice pyramid.
Yeah.
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 So
It's
after that and before the NutriGrade,
okay.
yeah, there was something. But uh, with regards to NutriGrade, right? I'm actually curious, and I guess this is also one of the things that you may have studied. When I look at milks,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, like why is it a NutriGrade C?
Yes.
And it's milk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
this is I literally, so again, all these folks that may be listening, Sarah. So I was going crazy about this with my friend because her husband is one of the people that's like on the I guess development squad
Yeah.
for NutriGrade, and I was like, dude, milk takes a hit,
Uh-huh.
and it's because of the fat.
Ah.
So
Okay.
so what's interesting is that whole full cream milk has a C,
Yeah.
but Milo Kosong, even Milo Sudai,
Yeah.
has a B.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
And that's literally a milk powder,
Yeah.
right? So it's like so a powdered sweetened version is better than like the real version from the
Yeah.
cow. That's just like straight up. And again, it's because they get a fat penalty. This is the tricky thing.
Okay.
This is why systems like Weight Watchers
Mm.
or anything that kind of assigns values or grades to foods
Uh-huh.
is difficult
Okay.
because it can't be based like there are calories that are worth spending,
Mm.
you know, and there are calories that are not.
Yeah.
And I would argue that the calories in a full cream milk
Yeah.
are definitely what a child should be drinking versus the calories in a Milo Sudai.
Mm.
Hopefully your podcast is not sponsored by Milo. You just lost it. But what I'll say is, you know, I think that the dangerous part about NutriGrade is that it doesn't take into account for whom,
That's true.
Okay.
right? So for whom would full cream milk be a C?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Not kids. They should be drinking that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit tricky if parents are trying to make decisions based on their kids, and they're thinking, oh, the Milo is a better choice than that.
So
milk.
Okay.
I mean, like, you know Prime, right?
Like Amazon Prime?
No,
No, the Prime drink, the one.
Oh,
the
yeah.
one by Logan Paul and
Yeah, Logan
KSI.
Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, it's NutriGrade B. So I told my wife that I think it's safer for my kids to actually drink NutriGrade B rather than milk. You know?
Milk, yeah, but again, it just takes the hit because of the fat,
Uh-huh.
you know, and again, you know, the fat in a naturally occurring whole food is not a
Yeah.
problem.
And what about juices? Because I think all the juices I see out there are also
Yeah, some are
NutriGrade
C and even D.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, if we gonna be real about juice,
Yeah.
like is not the greatest.
Okay.
Is not the greatest. Like it is concentrated sugar, right? So I always give the example, which I love that these machines exist. iJuice.
Yeah.
Right? You guys know
yeah.
the iJuice
Yeah.
machine.
You have it like
So,
everywhere in the
again,
island. Yeah.
also will not be sponsoring this podcast. Here we go. So basically, if you watch the iJuice,
Yeah.
it's 4 to 6 oranges.
Yeah.
You know, depending
Yeah.
on, you know, and it's like, would you sit down and eat 4 to 6 oranges right now?
No.
But would you drink that juice?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you're gonna get that sugar hit of 4 to 6 oranges
Uh-huh.
without any of the fiber to slow that hitting your bloodstream.
That's true.
Okay.
So if you want a direct hit to your glucose, that's
Uh-huh.
then, like I said, then obviously going to be problematic for your insulin if you're someone who's insulin resistant.
Yeah.
I mean, then we got an issue. Whereas if you're eating those 4 to 6 oranges, which you wouldn't slowly,
Yeah.
then at least you have the fiber to balance it out.
Ah,
So
that's true,
I
that's
will
true,
say I'm going to
yeah.
stand by juices being a C or a D because they're just a concentrated sugar source.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you win NutriGrade. You win this battle.
With regards to iJuice, right?
Yeah.
There's some rumor, I don't know whether it's true, that right now they actually add sugar into it. So back
Oh,
then, when
I hope not,
iJuice,
because that's like their whole thing. Is
so
that it's,
so back then when iJuice just came out, right? You
Yeah,
can
it's
see the entire
it's
process.
so transparent, right?
But now,
Oh.
it's
like
covered up.
yeah, it's covered up.
you're right, because I just so I will say I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying that like my kids never drink juice, and iJuice is like they call it like robot juice.
Yeah.
You get a robot juice, yeah. And like yeah, we love robot juice, but
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
There's a moment, where the thing falls, like the cover falls.
Yeah, because back then in where I was working, they have that machine. So I will every time buy during my break, right?
Yes.
And I can see the entire process. And there are times where the orange are sour. But now if you go to any iJuice, it's never sour anymore.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's our YouTube thumbnail. iJuice scandal. I had not heard it, but again, I'm not. That may be true.
Yeah, I mean that's the word on the street, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, until validated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does taste delicious.
Yeah,
Oh, now
right?
you got me thinking.
It's extra sweet, right? How can we get extra sweet oranges all the time?
Yeah, good point. And again, they sit in those machines. So it's like, how can they? I'm always. Anytime I see them refilling the iJuice, I'm like, okay, at least they do. Like, at least they do. But a little iJuice tip for parents,
Yeah.
right? Is that we just get one and let our kids all split it. Like, so we have 3 kids, they split one juice.
Okay.
That way, like nobody's getting a giant blast of sugar hit all at once, but they still get to watch it. Because I think the watching is more fun for the kids.
Yeah.
They love to see the oranges fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you thinking, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I'm literally, and now it's like I'm gonna be on undercover watch for these guys.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to talking about how you can actually prepare certain food at home, right? And you having 3 kids, how young are they?
Yeah. So my oldest is 5,
Mhm.
my middle guy is 3.5, and
Okay.
my little guy is 1.
Well paced.
Yeah. Yeah. We tried. Actually, we didn't. We really didn't. It just happened.
Okay. But anyway, like how when we talk about execution, how would you actually prepare your meals for the kids? Like, what exactly do you feed them at that age, especially?
Yeah.
And do you like do any meal prep?
And
Yeah.
and also we know of some people who totally make sure that kids no sugar or zero sugar.
Bless them. I have a friend and she is a dietitian and she's amazing.
Uh-huh.
She posts these videos and she's, making homemade falafels with like chickpea flour and like all the things. Like I gotta tell you, ain't nobody in my house got time. Ain't nobody in my house got that. My husband and I work full time.
Yeah.
All the other things that I do. My helper is obviously taking care of an entire household.
Yeah.
And we also live with my in-laws.
Uh-huh.
Thank goodness, because then we do have some flexibility in terms of the childcare and the meal preparation. Because my mother-in-law is the cook of cook. Like you
Okay.
guys think Singapore food is good, right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. My mother-in-law's version of anything is better. So like
It's always like that. Like,
like she makes bak kut teh and it's like you could sell this bak like this bak kut teh would kick founder's ass. Like it's so good. But anywho, so we have a lot of people, like a lot of cooks in the kitchen, like literally for the kids. So we just have some loose rules. So one of our loose rules is that there's fruit at breakfast. So whatever fruit we got lying around, the kids eat it.
Okay.
So they're not sent out to breakfast because we know when they get to school, unfortunately, they're getting like a packaged bun or like, a little bowl of cereal. And again, nothing wrong with those foods, whatever, but it's like, that's not going to come from us.
Yeah.
So like we make sure they get fruit and milk in the morning. Easy enough. Lunchtime, they get something with vegetables, right? So it's like they will see a vegetable at lunch, whether it's like in a soup or on the side or whatever, they'll get a vegetable. Afternoon snack, we keep it at yogurt. So they love those squeezy packs. Every mom is like, yes, I know which squeezy packs you mean. Like those little squeezy
I
packs,
know which one.
something Valley, whatever.
Petite something.
Yeah. Oh, the petite one's also good. By the way, we use the other, like I don't know, whatever. They're all great. Yogurts for the kids, and then dinner they have to have some sort of like meat source. So they have to eat like a chicken, a fish, an egg, whatever.
Okay.
So we have loose rules like that. But we are so not a crazy no sugar. I think what people need to remember, because now that we're all getting so much more health literate, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But we're coming at that from an adult perspective,
Yep.
what adults need,
Yep.
and particularly what adults that are losing weight might need. This is very different from what a child needs.
Yes.
Okay. A child needs tons of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
They are metabolically the most powerful because they are not only, their metabolisms are working beautifully, first of all, because they're youthful and full of youth, but also because they're growing. And like adults forget that growth is this amazingly demanding process that takes a bajillion calories and that they're constantly needing a fuel source, which is carbohydrates, right? So kids need carbs and kids need calories.
Yes.
So like when we as adults demonize carbs and calories, that's not the same thing that applies to our children. But unfortunately, we think we're helping them eat healthy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, your kids need a lot more carbohydrates, a lot more calories than you probably think. So I don't think there's any room for restriction in a child's diet.
Okay.
Again, unless we're talking about processed sugars exclusively. So like, is there a place and a time for children to be drinking full sugar Coke? I do not think so.
Yeah.
Okay, and
course.
caffeine aside, by the way.
Yeah.
So, for stuff like that. But is there a place for kids to be drinking juice? If it is fresh squeezed juice, yes. I think absolutely, right? Because it's just a carbohydrate source. It is a fruit.
Yeah.
Fantastic, right? But I think, controlling your kid's diet is a really slippery slope. Really slippery slope.
Okay.
And I think we have more evidence now to show that the best way to proceed with kids is you choose the food, meaning so you choose fruits, vegetables, proteins, carbs, whatever.
Yeah.
You provide the food. They determine how much of it they eat.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay.
You let your kids self-regulate their diet.
Okay.
And something that I also believe in is presenting all foods to
Yeah.
your child and letting them choose. So we don't say, okay, this is your meal. And then if you're good and you finish every crumb, you get dessert.
Yeah.
We just put out the meal, they eat whatever, and then we put out, if we're having dessert, like we'll put out dessert and then they have whatever. And it's not like a comment, it's not like a prize that you get for having finished it, nor is it something that happens every single time. So
Mm.
it's not like
Okay.
we always bring out the ice cream every single time we eat. But it's like,
Mhm.
if we're gonna have it, we'll just bring it out unremarkably without
Okay.
comment.
Mm.
And then that's how, our kids so far, all three of them are great self-regulators. They
Okay.
eat when they're hungry, they stop when they're full.
Uh-huh.
Right? Amazing.
I mean, like, if it's my kids,
Yeah.
they will definitely choose the sugary stuff.
The most
Yeah.
sweetest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where the like, what you provide, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's like, I mean, it's like I said, it's not my kids have no access to sugar,
Yeah.
but we definitely are not a house where you open the fridge and there's just like hella sugar in there.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, it's like you open the fridge and there's the things I just mentioned,
Yeah.
milk, yogurt, eggs,
Yeah.
fruits is
Mhm.
like they can pick from that.
Damn, I feel so guilty when I was eating the Swiss roll when she came in.
No, please don't. Like I said, and know that, if you ever catch, well, you might have seen in my family in the Guzman y Gomez ad. It's like we're eating churros at Guzman y Gomez. Like, don't get it twisted. Like we are out there eating food.
Yeah.
So it's just it's in the house. It's like a pretty I guess it is. Now that I described that, actually a pretty healthy environment.
Okay. And what about cereals? Like, is it harmful?
Is it a myth?
I would never say harmful. I would never say harmful. And again, it's one of those things where it's really hard, for a kid to have way too much cereal.
Mm.
Again, unless they're like a really highly sedentary child.
Okay.
But if they're an active child, they need to fuel their activity and their growth.
Uh-huh.
And if cereal is what they eat, then
But is it okay to give it as a staple? Like every single day you give them cereal and milk?
Again, is it okay? This is like such a tricky question, because I think, is it the healthiest food you could offer them? I don't think it is. And
Mm.
if we're talking about carbohydrate sources, I do think fruit is the better one. So it's like, if it was me and I was giving cereal,
Yeah.
I would make sure it was cereal with milk with fruit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because at least there's fiber there, right?
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
fruits, right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
fresh food,
Yeah.
not just like processed food.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, like please understand, I grew up on like cereal every day.
Yeah.
And honestly, as I got older, like
Yeah.
cereal, and then I was hungrier, like cereal and Pop Tarts. Or like cereal
Ah.
and
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
pastry.
yeah.
Yeah, not just like cereal, like
Yeah.
cereal and then also a thing that was also not fruit.
Mhm.
So I do want to do one better for my kids, I hope.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why I asked because I think like even in my early 20s, when I was still living with my parents, I will still ask for cereal,
Yeah.
and it can be like as a snack in
Yeah.
the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't think it's healthy because at that point of time I was also not really healthy,
And
right?
I think that you just hit the nail on the head. Like just like with the NutriGrade, right? Like is it health? Is it a NutriGrade C for who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like was cereal like an unhealthy snack at that time? Maybe.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Maybe. Is it still a better choice than like potentially a straight up Swiss roll?
Yeah.
Depends on the cereal actually. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So back then when I buy the whole pack, I
Yeah.
can finish half a pack in just one serving.
Yeah, so that's gonna be. I mean, hey, anytime we're talking about hyper palatable foods that then make it easier to overeat, then yeah, it's probably going to be a tough choice. It's like
Okay.
the reason that hyper palatable foods, are so bad for you is because it's so easy to overeat the portion. Like the classic example of the pint of ice cream. Like who's like, oh, that's 4 servings.
Yeah.
Is it? Is it? It's like realistically 2, potentially 1.
Yeah.
Like if you're being real.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Hannah?
I do actually, because our listeners are mainly people who are currently working and they are on the brink of doing their own side hustles or running their own business.
Yes.
And these are the people who are usually very, very busy.
Yeah.
And I understand that most of your target audience are the ladies, the females, right? So maybe for like women who are listening, what's one small action that they can take today to be better?
Oh,
Right.
I would say for the ladies listening that are working hard, trying to get a side hustle off the table, all this stuff, my best tip is to go to sleep. Get some rest.
Mm.
We think that when, and again, I remember the early entrepreneurial days, when I was just starting out with my business, working around the clock, doing every job, wearing every hat,
Yeah.
and thinking I can make it on 5 hours of sleep. I can make it on 4 hours of sleep.
Mhm.
You are not at your best
Mm.
when you are chronically underslept. Yeah, here and there's going to be some late nights.
Yeah.
We're talking about, you're on calls with the US,
Yeah.
trying to build your business, trying to get your
Yes.
hustle up. I get it.
Mm.
Like there's going to be nights. But on the whole, if you start compounding that sleep debt,
Yeah.
you're going to feel it in your health.
Yep.
You're going to feel it in your mental clarity.
Mhm.
And you're eventually going to see it in your business because you're not going to be operating at the functional level that you want to be because you're tired,
Mm.
you're exhausted. So I would say the first tip that I would give to women that is, again, free and everyone has access to: sleep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Put yourself
Okay.
to bed, man.
Hey.
And to that question, what if they have like a infant or 1-year-old who still cry the whole night and you know?
Ooh, this might be a separate podcast, my friend, because the difference between an infant and a 1-year-old. So you should know, and I'm not afraid to say it. We are a staunch sleep training household. We sleep train all three of my kids from 2 weeks old.
Okay.
So at
Wow.
2 weeks old, we started instilling particular sleep behaviors that then turned into full night's sleep by 3 or 4 months old. So, and
Okay.
moms listening to this are just about to turn it off. I'll tell you what, because I know how that sounds, but it's something that we took so seriously in our house because we knew there's no way we were going to be able to function with our business around the clock, have multiple children
Yeah.
if they all didn't sleep. So they all sleep.
Okay, I should have met you soon.
You should have. You should, like I said, and we can talk sleep coaching in the background, off air.
Okay, I got one more question, and then I have like a few rapid fire questions
Yeah.
for you.
Ooh.
Okay, so the first one that I want to ask, this is not a rapid fire one,
This
is
is slow first, please. Thank you.
yeah. So do you like have like this kind of discussions in your podcast? And if yes, do you want to give a bit of shout out so that our listeners can tune in as well?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So if you are female listening and you are between the ages of 35 and 55, you might love the 40s formula. So what we do, we consider ourselves a holistic women's self-improvement and wellness podcast. We talk to wellness experts in every different capacity, anything from, your very traditional kind of fitness, nutrition, doctors, stuff like that, all the way to your like more woo woo, your energy healers, your spiritual awakeners, all of that stuff. We want women hearing the benefit of the wisdom that is both scientific and not, and kind of getting this wellness perspective on everything that happens to you in your 40s, which is beautiful, by the way, nothing to be feared. But yeah, it's a transitional time to be sure.
Name of the podcast?
It is the 40s formula.
Okay.
Formula.
What is formula? Are you ready for your
For the rapid?
fire?
Okay.
No, I just have like 4 questions maybe.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So the first one, what's a wellness myth you wish would disappear?
That more muscles will make you bulky.
Okay.
Mm.
Book or podcast you recommend for all your clients?
Dr. Stacy Sims, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. I do dabble a little bit of Mel Robbins, and of course, Dr. Peter Attia.
Your go-to healthy meal?
Oh, I'm so boring. Oh, I hate myself. I do eat chicken breast and rice every day.
Okay.
Last but not least, one daily non-negotiable in your routine.
Bedtime.
Okay. I'm done. I'm out. That's all I have for you.
Okay, so before we end the show, this is our
Bonus.
Yes, bonus question that we always ask all the guests. If today you have nothing left, you lost all your money, all your assets, you are only left with $88 in your bank account. How would you restart and rebuild your life?
Wow. Yeah, I would take that $88 and probably get my first month at the gym. I'd get my gym membership back up and running because I do feel like the way that I am able to help people is by living that lifestyle myself.
Okay.
It's like I would never preach anything that I don't practice.
Yeah.
So I think that, if I was starting out all over again, I would get right back in the gym and start from zero.
Wow. That's a simple but
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
answer.
that's are you satisfied?
Yes,
with the
of
answer?
course. Yeah.
Okay. And with that being said, I think we want to say thank you, Amanda, for being here. And we really, I think we've gotten quite a lot
Yes,
of
a lot.
the
Yeah.
insights.
And again, you've lost at least 3 nutritional sponsors. So
It's okay.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, we can
guys.
stay healthy.
Yeah.
And also, of course, finally, to all the listeners for tuning in from part one all the way to part two. We truly apologize for part one and all the
Yeah.
disturbances. But thank you for tuning in. Catch you in the next one. Bye bye.